tibial IO. First off, we want to look at our medications, check them, make sure that it's the correct medication you want to give. Look at the clarity, make sure it's in date. You'd want to do that for your IV bag and your saline lock. Then we can go ahead and put on gloves and appropriate PPE because we're going to be handling the lock and the tubing. So we can then put on appropriate PPE, we can attach the IV tubing to the bag, spike the bag, and flush it through. Make sure there's no air bubbles in the line. And we'd want to lock it to make sure it's not leaking everywhere while we do the rest of the process. We can do the same thing for the saline lock. Want to attach the flush to the lock, push saline through, make sure there is no air bubbles in the line. Then we can lock it, and we'd want to put it back in or on the sterile bag that it came out of, just to make sure everything's nice and clean. Then we can take a look at our tibia, patient's tibia. Want to find the flat medial face of the tibia, up closer towards the top of the tibia, and we want to assess what length of IO drill we want for this particular patient. We then would thoroughly sterilize the area, and then take your IO. With one hand, you would draw the skin of the skin over the patient's tibia taut, and push the needle through the skin until it's making firm contact with the bone. Then you'd want to drill through until there was a pop and the resistance let up. Then you take the stylet off of the IO, sharps it. Then we can then hook up our saline flush to the IO catheter, flush saline into the bone. Then we'd want to draw back on that into bringing the fluid up into the line to make sure that we've got a good IO. The line would turn a little bit pinkish. You might be able to see some stuff in there. Then we can go ahead and disconnect our saline flush and attach the lock up to the IV tubing. Then set our drip, unlock it and set our drip rate to whatever is desired for this patient and medication that is being given. Then we'd want to stabilize the IO site by placing a roll of gauze on either side of the catheter and wrapping the leg with tape to hold that in place.